subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for notifications and updates.
The beautiful hills of Ondo is home to one of the most prestigious secondary schools in Nigeria. Secondary School, Ondo, has come to be known as one of the flagship schools that has produced great Amazons of Africa and indeed the world. Mother Columbanus, the then Superior General of the St. Louis Sisters, was the first to hear this call, "Go ye, go teach all nations," and she encouraged the St. Louis Sisters to answer this call.
The sisters were sent to Nigeria in 1958. They first went to Ghana in 1957. Then they were invited to Nigeria in 1958. They went to Kano. They arrived Kano first. They came to Ondo Diocese and Ondo Town in 1954. And they started St. Louis Secondary School, Ondo.
And we were told that they were scouting around. They were moving from house to house to get people of secondary school education age.
We were 32 in number when the school opened in 1954. There were 3 Reverend Sisters. Mother Chrysostom, they were all Irish. Mother Chrysostom was the principal. Sister Mary Una, Sister Mary Felicity, came freshly from Ireland.
It was 33
years.
Nigeria.
In Nigeria, oh my God.
33 years. Wow. And I loved every second of it.
Okay, thanks, sister. Thanks so much.
33 years I was in Nigeria.
The school, which was founded under Right Reverend Bishop Hughes, SMA, expanded with several of the main building and structures supervised with great zeal by Reverend Father O'Donovan, SMA, Reverend Father O'Mahony, who designed and constructed the St. Louis entrance gate, Reverend Father Shaughnessy, who did so much work on the underground tanks, well and water supplies, and Brother Tom Fitzgerald, who supervised the skillful construction of the dormitory and classrooms.
There was no electricity. In fact, in all parts of Western region at that time, up to that school, and there was no pipe-borne water. We had wells. We did not have any well in the school, but the only river available then was River Ondo. But as time went on, that we had the closed-door neighbor by Mokupe right in front of the school gates. He built the house and he dug a well. When that happened, it was him who volunteered and came to tell the Reverend sisters that we should come to fetch water from his own well rather than going to Ondo, which was quite a distance. We used TITI lamps. TITI lamps is what we know it to be. We had the uniform from the word go. We had this uniform that you met now. It has started with us, and all the uniform were made, cut by Sister Mary Felicity and Mr. John. He worked in the school until he left. He was still working when my child got there.
In 1954, they started with only 2 buildings. The ladies' block, which was made of mud. Then the one beside, the old students should know what I'm talking about. We have our ladies' block, followed by St. Joseph's block, and followed by St. Maria Goretti's block. That St. Maria Goretti's block is the longest block now, but then half of it was just part at the mud part of the school. But Sister Anna put in place St. Michael's block, which is a story building for the dormitories. Then to the other side of Our Lady's block, she put up the St. Joseph's block, which is also a story building. And that was how it was when I got here as a student. St. Maria Goretti's block was part of the dormitory. The whole of St. Joseph's block were part of dormitory. Our Lady's block, dormitory, and St. Michael's block, both up and down dormitory. Then the admin block, where we have the principal's office now, was the school's block. The school's block, towards the end of the admin block, the lower part there was our biology lab, and the upper part of that biology lab was our library.
In 1959, the pioneer students sat for the West African School Certificate Examination and did excellently well. With an academic strength built on a very strong foundation, St. Louis Secondary School, which began with about 30 students, had an influx of girls from Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Ondo, and beyond.
It was excitement galore. I was really excited. And because I was excited, I was a Roman Catholic. So I was in the church every time, and from the church, I would come here. So when I was admitted, I was a bit familiar with the teachers, with the Reverend sisters. So that was why the excitement was so high. I was really excited.
The school was designed not only to cultivate morals, but Christian values in young minds, and also to elevate the status of women in the community. St. Louis Secondary School Ondo began with an academic year which ran from January to December between the year 1959 and 1973.
It was a very exciting time in Nigeria. You know, it was coming towards independence, and teaching in Ondo was exciting. The girls were so highly motivated and hardworking. Sister Una had set a very high standard for them, of course. Now, one thing sad that had happened the previous year, before I went there, was the death of Sister Chrysostom. She had died in 1959 of blackwater fever. So she had died in the hospital in Owo. And after an illness, so many doctors had tried to help her, but anyway, it failed, and she died in Owo in the previous summer, August, I think it was. So there was a sadness about that. And the students were very aware of it, and there were services and all that for her still in the school. But Sister Una had taken over there, and things were functioning very well, and they were very hardworking, and I was teaching English language, literature and Latin.
With the emerging educational policies, the academic year, which ran from January to December between the year 1959 and 1973, was soon overturned with the introduction of the new academic calendar by the then Minister for Education, which ran from September to June, as we have till date.
I started in 1969 and I finished 1973 June. I was in the set that first started May, June, because before then we were doing WAEC in December. But my set, we started this May, June thing in 1973. So we spent 4.5 years instead of 5 years. That was a plus to us there.
In 1983, the federal government of Nigeria introduced the 6334 system of education, which soon replaced the old Form 1 to Form 5 system with the junior secondary and senior secondary school system, which further introduced the senior secondary school certificate examination. The aim was to meet the needs of all students.
I was admitted into St. Louis Secondary School, Ondo in 1985, and I finished in 1991. I spent 6 years. I was the second set of those that started this SSC syllabus.
I'm Sister Francis, and I went on to in 1983 from Akari, Coco, and I was there until 91 teaching, and then in 91 I retired, and I worked at JULIANA. After that, I worked in Paris from that on.
There were many notable events which took place as time progressed.
And I remember that when we were in Form 5, just before we finished, Sister Mary Una was installed as chief by the then Oshumawe of Ondo Kingdom as the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Ẹ̀kọ́ of Ondo land. It was a great ceremony. We danced from the school gate here through Okegbala, Odojomu to the town hall. And I think we returned through Odoshida, New Town route, back to school.
The experiences I had in St. Louis Secondary School as chief in B up to today.
People used to commend us, outside. Once they see you, they say, "Come on, St. Louis." There are some things you don't do as a student of St. Louis.
In fact, I was telling somebody not too long ago that I can't drop trash on the floor just because it was forbidden then in St. Louis. I can't cross the lawn anywhere up till now because it was forbidden in St. Louis.
They taught us how to be good wives. They taught us how to be good managers. They taught us how to be good leaders. They even went to the extent of teaching us how to walk. They taught us how to sit down. They taught us how to stand up. No hunchback. They taught us. And the lady must be seen before head.
You don't just talk anyhow. You look before you leap. And the way you express yourself, we dignify you.
Anywhere you meet any same way, Ondo, ex-students, they stand out.
St. Louis inculcated in me the virtues of consistency, of bravery, self-confidence. You know, you were trained to believe that there was nothing you could not do. You were trained to believe that whatever you set your heart upon to do, that you could actually achieve it. We were taught that you were the only one who could limit yourself. And interestingly, with all the academic excellence, that we had at the time, we were taught things like how to manage a home that you couldn't even imagine that you were going to manage at some point. I could, with time, I realized that I had become a wife even away from St. Louis, in the sense that I had this can-do attitude towards homekeeping, towards housekeeping. I would tell there was nothing I couldn't do as far as keeping the home was concerned. It didn't matter that you liked what you were doing or what you were not doing. You had to do it well, and that was the St. Louis spirit.
Well, I think one of the biggest, the longest and biggest memory, I would say, just learning to share, living amongst others. We all came to school naive and young, and we were thrown into boarding school. We weren't many, so everybody knew everybody, and we still do, I remember. But having to work, wash clothes, fetch water, carry water on our heads. I remember that. My bucket fell in the well so many times. But actually it was fun, it strengthened me. It's part of what's made me who I am today. So I'm grateful.
One of the requirements was you should bring coconut husk. The coconut husk was for the toilets, the bathrooms. We used to kneel down and scrub the bathrooms. Even our dormitories, the floor was wooden, and we used to polish it and kneel down, scrub it. And the first place they put me was the convent, to work in the convent. So every morning you have to kneel down, take your coconut husk, they'll give you polish, you kneel down, polish the floor. And the floors you have to polish in such a way that you will see yourself. It's like a mirror, you have to see yourself. The Reverend Sister will make sure you do the work very well. Toilets in the convent will be washed on a daily basis.
I also remember the sister, we used to call her ADEYEMI, the Reverend Sister that taught us French. She taught us French, and I think she also taught us mathematics at one point. But I remember in one French test, I did so badly, and rather than be remorseful, I made a joke of it. So she sent me upstairs to the library to go and get a book on etiquette.
Now, we had many teachers. I remember our math teacher, Mr. Kandasamy. I remember Mrs. Tolentino, Mrs. Okra, so many of our teachers. God bless them. I remember Auntie Meki, Sister Miko. We used to call her Auntie Meki. She's a reverend. And Sister Deepna. Sister Deepna, when we were in Form 1 and 2, when we were in school, when we were in Form 1 and 2, we used to have video session. There was a period, a video period. They would take us to video room. Then video was not very common then, but we had video. Stauna would take us to video room, and we have maybe 1 or 2 hours per week. They would show us documentaries, show us films. That was when that was the first time I saw Sound of Music. The King and I, 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. It was during our video sessions we had all those things. It was a very, very beautiful time. St. Louis.
The academic, religious, and moral education provided by the St. Louis community has aided the formation and grooming of young girls to become women of substance at any level in the society.
It was here in St. Louis that I discovered that students can get 100%. So when I came and I discovered that we have so many 100%, I couldn't hold my peace. I went to Miss Ondo and Miss ADEYEMI and I asked, are you sure these are the scores of the girls? They said, that's how they get it here. Wasn't satisfied? Try to do a CID work in between the teachers to actually find out whether the scores were like that. And believe you me, that was the performance of the students.
I can't describe St. Louis Ondo girls as very interesting. They're very curious, very intelligent, very smart, and quite audacious.
Quality of education, quality of morals, bringing us up as ladies. I think St. Louis did an excellent job.
I learned to be determined because then I thought I would not be able to make it. I have a phobia for mathematics. I learned to determine from this school. So far you have determination that this thing I want to make it, you will surely make it.
Today, St. Louis Secondary School, Ondo, remains one of the schools in Nigeria which have done a lot to retain a standard of education, discipline, and intellectual prowess.
Came in January this year, 2018, and I had the SS3, WAEC and NECO, May, June, then June, July. May, June for WAEC, then June, July for NECO. And the results, when the result came out, all our students passed the WAEC and the NECO. Then I registered 212 students for GSS3 exam, all of them passed. Then the SS2 exam, the promotion from 2 to 3, I registered 156 students from SS2, the joint SS2 promotion examination, all of them passed too. So the promoted students from SS2 to 3 are the ones that were going to register for WAEC GC.
The school has contested and won diverse essay competitions organized by both federal and state governments, quiz and debates including march past within and outside Ondo State. And in 2011, the school produced one of the best WAEC results in the whole of West Africa. With the coming to effect of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action 1995, the old girls of St. Louis Secondary School, Ondo, have successfully occupied leadership posts of high responsibility in politics, science, technology, medicine, law around the world. As the school continues to age progressively and in times to come, we admonish old students like the sisters to work closely with the girls to maximize their potentials to the highest level to keep the school's image untarnished.
We need more hands of old students, because I used to talk to most of our old students that have graduated from St. Louis that they need to come here. But to my surprise, most of them, they will tell you they want to come to St. Louis when they are due for duty posts, when they want to come for duty posts. But when you are at duty post, there is nothing you can do because you'll not be able to move closer to these students. If you are a principal, you are a vice principal, there is no way you will know students the way they behave in the class. It's only the reports that are given to you by the teachers that you will know. So I would like to encourage our own students to please come to St. Louis.
My charge and challenge to all old students and current students is to develop more love and to be proactive, to get involved in the school life.
St. Louis Secondary School, Ondo, is a dream come true, first for the Irish Sisters, the Roman Catholic Mission, and the people of Ondo Kingdom. Over time, the sisters and members of staff of the school worked closely with the girls to teach them the highest ideals of womanhood, the exalted vocation of a woman as the home builder, the dignity of work in the home, and the responsibility of women as shapers of the nation's destiny, both in time and eternity.
Well, I want to say that all of us should keep the flag flying. We should not bring the name of the school to disrepute. What we are known for, discipline, manners, good manners, we should keep at them and be good always.